Welcome back to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. Today I'm joined by Lea Tranakos and Cindy Foster-Warthen from Archlight Summit. And we're going to tell you a little bit about that show. It's taking place on September 18th, 17th, and 18th at the Dallas Market Center in Dallas, Texas. Lea, what type of people are attending this show and who's exhibiting there?
So, one of the biggest highlights of this year's show is that we are closing in on a sold out floor plan. We are in the position now where we are only taking applications on a wait list basis. We are very fortunate to have, the curated floor that you can't have in a very large show, featuring, Acuity brands, Signify, Cooper, the list goes on and on of the top manufacturers that we do have participating in this year's event. As far as attendees go, it's across the board in the commercial and architectural world. We've got lighting designers, specifiers, architects, engineers, electrical engineers, electrical construction. Um, Also, we do have, interiors people that attend the show, and seeing that more and more as things progress in the manufacturing world.
Cindy, tell me a little bit about some of the fun that's going to happen at ArcLight this year. Last year you had the Lovers of Light, and I remember how great that was. And this year you guys are doing something with Kasambi called Kasambi Quest. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Kasambi Quest is part of their happy hour that they're sponsoring on Tuesday night. We haven't, we're known for being an event that is where we have tons of hospitality and a lot of engagement with our attendees in a casual setting. So on Monday night, we start off with our hospitality with a happy hour, and you've attended this event before, sponsored by Women in Lighting and Design, and it's on the top floor of the Dallas Market Center, so you get to see the skyline of Dallas. And that event is open to all attendees, of course, for free. And so it's great for the exhibitors and the people that are coming from out of town to have something to do on Monday night when they come in for the show that starts on Tuesday. And then Tuesday evening is when we have lunch on the show floor, of course. And then the Kasambi Quest is a happy hour. And they sponsored the event last year as well. But this year, Kasambi Quest is basically a kind of a scavenger hunt kind of fun activity they're going to be doing. We also will have a live band, open bar, tons of fun and activities. As we all know, it's a great event and a social hour, networking for everybody that's on the show floor. And then the next day, on Wednesday, we've added a new event this year called the Showroom Spectacular. Some of the feedback that we had gotten over the past 2 years is we have numerous showrooms in the market center on the third and fourth floor. That's what we're known for. And some of those showrooms aren't open during the Archlight Summit. So we made a point to get the showrooms that have a commercial cross from commercial and residential that do both. And it's a whole event. I call it a mini lightovation because we're basically hosting bars. There's activities that are happening. There's lunch that are being served in these showrooms from 12:30 to 4. On Wednesday afternoon after the trade show floor closes from Archlight Summit. So once we're done with our sessions and the expo on Wednesday afternoon, there's a whole nother event and the party moves upstairs.
I exhibit at trade shows all the time with my company, not as Get a Grip on Lighting, but my lighting company. And I love the shows and I think Arclight does this so well. So if you're an exhibitor and you're listening to this, what Arclight really does well that I like is there's food served on the trade show floor and stuff like that. So people are gravitating towards those booths. They're eating, they're having a beer maybe in the other hour. And that is such a great time to connect with people. And I think it's something that Arclight sets up so well for, Lea, is that those social interactions that can happen because you're moving towards where the booths are, or there's food in the showrooms at the showroom spectacular. People will move into that space and want to and want to be there and eat and talk. And that's when, as a exhibitor, where you can maybe have a 5 or 10 minute conversation with someone, Lea.
Correct. And the format of Arclight Summit is really like no other. And that the networking and the continuation of the conversations is very important in our planning, with the layout and with all of the events that happen, the breakfast, the lunch. There's so many opportunities once you leave a conference session, and you can go grab a drink and an appetizer or lunch, and still have a productive day.
And also I also remember actually bumping into some of the presenters of some of the great sessions that take place at ArcLight while I was having a sandwich or while I was moving through the trade show floor. They're standing there and they're just available to you. Other shows do not do that at all. I was in Light and Build in Germany, and it's so enormous they can't even offer that kind of level of intimacy that ArcLight can really provide for attendees and exhibitors, Cindy.
Yeah, we want our the people who are presenting to actually feel like the show is part of their home as well, and sign up for sessions. So they're not only just presenting, they're also attending, which is a nice mix, because a lot of these presenters you wouldn't have the opportunity to meet on a regular basis. Like if somebody's making a sales call, they wouldn't necessarily be able to speak to that person, because he's either busy or he or she is busy on a call, or just at a different level of having a sales call with. But what people have really commented about is they get to engage in not just a cordial conversation as like, hi, how are you doing, walking by them. They actually get to sit down, like you said, and you could be having lunch with them or having a drink. It's really kind of about the conversations. And doing it in a different environment, because the facility itself, it's not a hotel ballroom. This is a space that has an open air ceiling that you can see the daylight coming through. We have a koi pond, we have turtles, we have fish. It's it's not your traditional environment, which people really do enjoy. Yeah, and there's lounge seating. It's intended to be a space to where you can get business done, but doing it in a nice, relaxed fashion where there's no pressure either way. No pressure from the manufacturer, no pressure for the salesperson. It's just, getting to know somebody at a nice level.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with the even though the Dallas Market Center seems quite big when you're walking into it, and or you get out of your Uber or the bus. Once you actually get to that area where the Arclight Summit goes down and with the big open air atrium, the feeling is not trade showy at all, if that's a word. It does not feel like a trade show. It feels like a place where you want to hang out, Lea, and you want to participate, and you're comfortable talking to the person next to you, which you would never do at Light and Build in Germany. Like, you wouldn't talk to somebody who's walking by you or standing next to you. But at Arclight, it's totally different, Lea.
Correct. And, in comparison to Light and Building, it is difficult to get into the booths, and the conferences are way off in another location. With our 2 stages on the show floor where all the conference sessions will be taking place, it keeps people in the same area, so that you leave a conference session and you can automatically, be in an exhibitor's booth and discuss how the fixtures apply to what they just heard about in the conference session.
Yeah, and at other trade shows, it's not that when you're walking through a trade show or whatever, you're there to see the booths, but sometimes it's so huge, or the way that it's set up, or how long it took you to get there, kind of prevents you from entering into those spaces. You don't have a choice at ArcLight, Cindy. You're in the booth almost.
No, you're in. Well, and it's designed that way. We want people to have the booths themselves are all very consistent in the way the floor plan is set up. So everybody has the same, footprint. It's either a 10 by 10 or a 6 by 10. But aesthetically, they all look the same as far as the walls that we have up and the structure we provide, the carpet, everything. There's consistency and a cleanness about it. Also, we do place our exhibitors in sections by their rep group. So that does help in making sure that if you're looking, meeting with somebody, that you can meet with all of the manufacturers in that same space, which is great. Some of the other things that we're doing this year that it creates an immersive experience is that we've done an art exhibit every single year. It's really important for us to not just talk about lighting, but to be immersed in the experience of lighting. So we have 3 different immersive experiences happening this year. One of them is talking about architectural visualization, and that's a very hard word to say.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna, it's a mouthful, architectural visualization. And we have experiences set up for you to play with and test out different tools and technologies for AI and how AI works in the design industry as an architect, an interior designer, a lighting manufacturer. So you can experience all these new tools that are coming out so that you can kind of have an idea of what works for you. And also, whether it's going to be a headset with a virtual reality goggles, or is it going to be an immersive tool that's done via computer? All that's going to be set up in an immersive experience where you can walk through and test those. And then we're also going to have a panel discussion where we have experts from Corrigan and from Gotham and the Oculus Light Studios, who actually uses AI in some of their design work, so that they'll show you the different versions and things that they've worked with in an application setting. And that panel discussion will be kind of like, it'll be a great takeaway where people can get a little bit more information about AI and how it works in the design industry today. The other 2 experiences that we have, which are new this year, that our board was really excited about putting together. One is in a healthcare, behavioral healthcare vignette, and that's being sponsored by Visa Lighting. And that is being set up. We have a design team that worked to create the space, and it's going to have a patient bed, patient lighting, all for behavioral health. And it talks about you have to walk into space and you'll actually learn things that you really don't think about. It's like furniture can't have certain hard edges. The lighting has to have, certain effect to it. The walls, the flooring, the switches, all of it is, there's a certain regulation that you have to apply in your design metrics on how to design for this space. And healthcare, as you know, is a booming industry. Mm-hmm. And this is a very special area where interior designers and architects and lighting designers can walk into space and kind of get an idea of what it looks like installed in this environment with crude furniture and Visa lighting and all of that installed. So that's going to be on the show floor directly across from our main stage, which is our Light Bite stage. And then the last immersive experience, is we have a vignette that's set up for UGR that is being sponsored by Zoomtobel. And that is going to be an office setting with two exact tables, or basically mini offices set up to where the UGR, you can sit in a space and experience what UGR ratings feel like in person.
I'm just going to jump in for those listening. She's talking about the unified glare rating, right? Which is a new lighting metric. I had forgotten, but it just, as you're telling me about these wonderful experiences. So the vignettes, okay, people could go to the show. People can go to the vignette whenever they have a minute. They don't have to book a time to do it, right? And so you can go to the show. Like, you guys do this the best. Archlight does these experiences that you can have as part of the show that you weren't expecting, and you don't have to book it in advance or whatever. It's just there, and you can wait in line a little bit or whatever it is, and then you can go in. That is such a wonderful piece of what Archlight does, is these little, now I don't know if you did vignettes before. I don't know what they were called in the past, but there was when I was going to these, I was just going to these things that you guys were doing, and I really felt like they made such a difference into the entire experience. You're eating, you're having a drink, you're meeting new people, you're going into these things, you're seeing new lighting. Like the healthcare one seems so good. I got to go to Archlight. I think I'm going to register for Archlight right after this, actually. I'm going to head down there. I'm going to announce it right here on the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. I'm going to tell Greg Eric he's got to go too. So I don't know if he's busy, but yes, I can't wait to see these. I'd forgotten about all the wonderful things. So I was so busy with Nailed when I was there, as people listening to this will know, that, Nailed was held at Archlight for the last 2 years. Very thankful. We were so thankful you guys rescued us coming out of the pandemic. But, I forgot about all the little things that you could see and all the things that were going on in such a big, small space. Like, it's big at one sense, but it also feels like small enough that you can get to everything, Lea.
Correct. And the traditional trade show is evolving. And, I would say that Arclight is well ahead of that and has been ahead of that curve.
So where should exhibitors go if they've listened to this and they want to get on that waiting list or get on to register with Archlight? Where should they go, Lea?
To archlightsummit.com.
Mm-hmm. And there's a
exhibitor.
Registration link there, yeah.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yes. You just follow the attend tab, drop down, register here. Anybody's free to contact me if they need assistance or I can help in any way.
We're going to put Leah's personal cell phone number in the Get a Grip on Lighting show notes. No, I'm just kidding. So the Archlight Summit, if you're listening to this and you're driving and you don't want to write it down or whatever's happening out there, folks, while you're listening, you go to archlightsummit.com. It's going to be in the show notes. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you are, it'll be in there. Also, the LinkedIn will be there, the Facebook and the Instagram, links to all that will be there, along with Leah's LinkedIn will be linked there too, and so will Cindy. So you can contact them through LinkedIn. Cindy, before we call this show, what else do you have to say before we head out? Any final thoughts?
The sessions, I will tell you, the sessions are filling up quickly. So to attend any of the CEUs, all of our sessions are either AIA or IDC, EC, both accredited sessions. So any of the sessions that you sign up for, it's $50 and you to attend the CEUs. It's free to attend the event, but registration is required. But the CEU sessions, some of them are getting at max capacity already. So don't wait to register.
You got to go to archlightsummit.com. I'm going to go there right now, right after the show, and register. And if you want to go to any of the great sessions to catch up on your educational credits, whatever they're called, you can get them at Archlight if you're in the lighting business. And my hat's off to you guys. Thanks for coming on Get a Grip on Lighting, Lea and Cindy.